Hello, this is Coach Untitled, and as a lot of you know, we did a Kickstarter unboxing of 4 all-play games, and this is the first review of one of those games from that unboxing. And this game is called Sail by All Play. Let's get into it. Before we get into Dad's overview, let's read the little blurb. Take on the role of pirate crewmates working together in a desperate effort to sail your ship out of dangerous waters. Rough seas are ahead in this 2-player cooperative trick-taking game, where treacherous storms and a monstrous kraken attempt to thwart your every move. Now let's get into the overview.
To set up Sail, you will first refer to the scenario booklet. And this shows you the different scenarios and how to set them up. So this is the learning scenario, and then there's scenario 1 through 5. Now, we actually set up scenario 5 for this overview, and what it shows you in the scenario setup is where to put the starting and ending tile. It'll show you where to put all the islands and all the tentacles, and I'll explain what those do in a second. And then the clouds, which you have to get to the clouds at a certain point in the game. So I'll show you that as well. So that is the first thing you want to do when you're setting up Sail. Then you will want to put your pirate ship that both players share at the start marker. You will want to put out the Kraken board and the round tracker, the trick tracker. You will set up the Kraken health deck, and then you will give each player a pirate, and these pirates have an explanation of how they work, and then it also has a side with the symbols depending on which you would prefer to use. And then you will deal each player 9 cards. You will put the leftover cards here. Actually, it should be there. And then you will put the cubes out for the trick tracker. You'll put this little dial here to keep track of the Kraken. And you will put the Kraken, and this actually just keeps track of the rounds. So yeah, that is how you set up Sail. So let's move on to how the game works. Sail is a cooperative trick-taking game where your goal is to sail your ship from the start tile to the end tile. Now that seems pretty simple, but there are definitely some things that make this challenging. First off, we have these islands which block your movement. So if you were to move into one of these tiles, you cannot. So that would block your movement. The other things are these tentacles which cause you to take damage from the Kraken, which I will explain how damage works in a little bit. And then you can also lose the game if you don't make it to these clouds by certain rounds. So round 3 you have to make it to these clouds, and round 5 you have to make it to these clouds. Now that you know how the board works, you're probably wondering, well, how do you sail in the game? Well, you do that by playing a basic trick-taking game, which you might not know how to play a trick-taking game, so let me explain. So in this game you have 3 suits, right? You have green, you have purple, and you have ugly green. And these are your different suits. So when you're playing a trick-taking game, each person will play a trick. So when one person plays a suit, let's just say I played this purple 8, then the other player will have to follow suit if they have a purple card. So let's just say that they do have a purple card here, and they play this 3. This player won the trick because they played the 8, which beats a 3. And so you would move his trick tracker forward 1. And the reason the trick tracker is important is because once one player has hit 4 tricks, it actually ends the round. So if this player wins 4 tricks before the other player wins any tricks, you would only have 4 tricks that round. So you want to try to balance that out, so you have more rounds so you can do more with your ship. So now, after you've seen who won the trick, you then look at these little symbols on the card. So this has this little wheel here, and you're trying to match wheels to move the ship. this has a wheel as well, so you would actually move your ship. Now, since this player won, you would move the ship towards this player. Now, if this player would have won, you would have moved it the other direction. So that was our first movement. Now, some of the cards only just have a wheel on them, and if you match those wheels, you just move, and then you move to the next trick. But if they have these little tentacles on them, like this down here, you take damage. Now, both of them could have tentacles, and then you take 2 damage. But when you take damage, you are going to draw from this deck and put it in the discard pile, which give you more wheels with tentacles. So later on, you'll have more of those in your deck, so you may take more damage as rounds go on. Now, the Kraken deck, the damage deck, has so many cards, and then you hit this Kraken card here, and this makes this little dial, which will cause you to take more damage at the end of the round. And one of the ways you can lose is if you run out of cards in this deck, that ends the game and you instantly lose. So if this is the last card, you lose. And so then you'd move on to the next trick. You'd put these in the discard pile. Let's say I played this 4 with this little gun symbol here. Then there are a few things the player could do. They could play a card with a tentacle. So play that. And then once again, this player would win. You'd move forward on the tracker. Now, when this happens, this card gets cast to the Kraken deck, and you put it at the bottom of the deck, which actually prolongs your health. And then this would go to the discard pile. Now, if I had played a 4 and somebody was able to play another gun, say they didn't have this color green, so they would play this card, and you get matching gun symbols, that actually lets you draw from the top of the deck, and you get to do something good. So this one would let you move, and there are, for every symbol, you pretty much get something good to do on your turn. So that would be that. There are also mermaid cards, and if you are able to play 2 mermaid cards during the same trick, you actually get to move straight forward, so you don't have to do the towards one or the other player. And you continue doing this until you hit the 4 tricks, and then you reshuffle, deal 9 cards again. At the end of the round, you would take the whatever point this little disc is at, you would take that much damage and add that to the deck before you'd shuffle and deal. And you have 5 rounds to try to get your ship all the way to the end before the Kraken deck runs out, or hopefully you get past the clouds on time. If you get to the end tile, then you win the game, and that is how you play Sail.
What I like about Sail is, number 1, it actually has all play on the box, and this is a game changer, and it is super exciting. Okay, it's not that exciting, but a lot of the other games still have BoardGameTables.com, but this game changed for the better. Another thing I like is how it is a cooperative trick-taking game, and I like this is the first cooperative trick-taking game that I've played, and I haven't seen many others, so I think this is really cool and unique on All Play's part. And I think it's really cool just in general that All Play creates really fun and cool themes and creative like gameplays and stuff like that. And another part that factors in with how it's a cooperative trick-taking game is that when you lose a trick, it isn't as detrimental to your gameplay. It can actually help you in a decent amount of scenarios. It can help you go through the board, which is, of course, the ultimate goal of the game. And I think that's really cool that it factors in that you can still lose, but it's not like you're losing like badly or anything. Another thing that I like is they managed to fit a campaign game in here. When I heard about it, I was like, really? And and it is a really simple, quick trick-taking game. So if you don't want to commit to a long role-player adventures campaign, then this one would be just for you. 20 minutes for 5 campaigns. No big deal. Another thing that I like is the art. I think the art looks really, really, really cool. Even like the writing of sail on the front of the box, the colors that just work together so well and how bright they are, the texture on the water and the sky I think looks awesome. And even the people, they're not the most like artistic, like realistic, but they serve their purpose, and I still think they look really cool. And another thing I like is the symbols on the cards, which is cool. I haven't seen with other trick-taking games. Of course, they have the suits and stuff like that with all trick-taking games, but in this game, there's little symbols on the cards that can help you do different things, help you preserve your health, and things like that, which I think is really fun, and I just don't see that in many other games. And also, of course, you've heard this from me about a billion, trillion, 100 billion times. It's really short and easy, kind of as I said when, like, with the Cooperative, it's a really easy and short game. Like, you can, like, go through it in 20 minutes easily, and it's not like it's very hard to comprehend. My dad's, like, teaching me, and I'm like, yeah, let's play, you know? And do I like this game? I really do like this game. Because, number one, I'm one of those people that, like, don't always want to commit to a long campaign game. Sometimes I do, and I think it's really fun. But this game is like, hey, Oliver, before you go to bed, do you want to play this game? Of course I do. And I, like, because it's so short. But if my dad was like, it's 12 o'clock, and we're going to play this game till 3 a.m., I would have been like, yeah, I don't know about that. One thing I forgot to mention is that it being a 2-player cooperative trick-taking game is that I can play it with my dad because I play a lot of games with my dad. So, it's because most trick-taking games, or pretty much all of them, are 3 and above. So, any game that's 2 players, I will take the chance at because I have my dad to play my board games with. And that is what I like about Sail. If you love this piratey review, please smash the subscribe button, smash the like button, and smash the notification bell so you can get more long form, short form, and even live streams. Also, check out my link tree where you can see my YouTube, of course, and my Facebook and Instagram, where you can find behind the scenes stuff with Vinny and reminders for live streams and things like that. Also, check out my Dice Tower playlist where you can see all of my board game breakfast appearances. And also check out my merch show, of course, if you want some comfy merch that has my logo on it. It would be awesome if you could go buy my merch. So go cop some. And thank you so much for watching, guys. Bye.